Okay, in the last video we have determined that we have a 1 chord followed by a 4-6-4 in our first measure. What that means is a 1 chord in root position and a 4 chord in second inversion. In this video we are going to analyze these next two chords, or I'm sorry, these next three, the last three that we have in this chorale. So we see here, let's just start marking the notes. We have this low C is going to stay once again as a low C here in the bass voice. So we have 3 C's in a row in the bass voice. Okay, sorry, that was too much scrolling. Oh no. Okay, let me just use this a little bit. Much better. Okay, now this time we have an A, and that is going to jump up. I don't know if you've actually seen this note here in the bass clef yet. So if we have a note going through this ledger line above the bass clef staff, that would be a C, which means that the note that sits on top of that line has to be one step above C. So this note here, that is a D. Up here in the treble clef staff in the alto line, we have an A. And here in the soprano line, the top line, we go from the F down to the note D. Now, we're going to see something that I'm going to point out here. We have a D, A, C, and another D in this example. So we're missing the note that would go here. Now, if you're someone who's been paying attention, we know the third chord in Chorale 1 was a D minor chord. We also know that the third chord in Chorale 2 was D minor with D, F, and A. This time we're missing an F, but we still have D and A, and we've actually added a C. So this has to be D. It's going to be suggested that this is D minor, because in C major, the D chord will be minor. So you have a D minor chord, it's just missing that third. And again, sometimes it's okay to leave out one of these notes in a chord. However, D minor doesn't tell the full story, because in these other D minor chords, we just have D, F, A, and then here we have a second F, here we have D, F, A, and a second D. However, in Chorale 3, there's a C in this chord. That's going to make this a D minor 7th chord, because C is a minor 7th above D, which is our root. So we have D minor 7, but it's also not in root position. If this lowest note were a D, it would be in root position. So we're going to start with the Roman numeral, lowercase i's, 2 of them, to show minor 2 chord. Now, I'm not going to take super long talking about this, but this is actually going to be a D minor 7th chord in third inversion. When we have the 7th of a 7th chord being our bass note, our lowest note, that means that this chord is all the way in third inversion. And the way that we mark that is with a 4-2. The reason why that is the missing note here, we would have D, F, A, and C. The F, that would be filling this blank, that is a 4th above C, and D is a 2nd above C. So 2-4-2. Again, that's exactly how you would say it. I know that's a lot of explanation. What you need to know is a D minor 7th chord. It's in third inversion, so it's marked Roman numeral 2-4-2. So that's probably the most complex chord in all of these chorales that we've done so far. Let's go ahead and look at something that's going to be more straightforward. Now, for once in Chorale 3, we're going to change our bass note from this C. We're going to drop down to G. Okay, I don't know why it didn't pick up more. There we go. We have G. This note here, the D remains D. Our note A is going to drop down to F. And our note D is going to drop down to B. So what we have here, G, B, D, F, that spells a G7 chord. Once again, we have G, which is our root, in the bass, which means this is going to be a regular old 5-7 chord. This is not in any sort of inversion. This is in root position. It's a G7 in first no, it's a G7 in root position. So we just call this a 5-7 chord. So our second measure has a 2-4-2 followed by a 5-7. And let's go ahead and see how this one ends. We have a C in the bass. Our D in the tenor drops down to a C in the tenor for the last chord. F comes down to E. And B steps up to C. So once again, we have a situation like in Chorale 1 where we have C, C, E, and C. That suggests that this would be a C major chord, even though we're missing our fifth of the chord, which is G. And C major is our one chord in C major. And also the note C is our root, which means this is in root position. We don't have to do anything other than just write out that Roman numeral. So let me zoom out a little bit so we can get a full look at this. You can see, once again, we have a 1, 4, 2, 5, 7, 1 chord progression for Chorale 3, just like the other two chorales. Just this time, we have a second inversion 4 chord. We have a third inversion 2-7 chord. 2-7 meaning D minor 7. And we once again have 1, 5-7, and 1 in root position. So there's no rules with how you can combine chords in different inversions with chords in root position. Any of these chords can really lead to any other chords as long as you follow some rules that I don't need to get into about how individual voices need to move. You can have a combination like this really anytime you want as long as you write it out correctly. But once again, just to be super clear, we're in C major. Chorale 3 is a 1 chord in root position, a 4-6-4, 2-4-2, 5-7, 1. And that's how we would say it in music theory terms. One last time, let's go ahead and give this a listen. This is Chorale 3, what we just analyzed. And that's it for today. That's it for this particular handout. Please complete the attached worksheet. It's going to be short like yesterday's worksheet. And today, no tone savvy assignment. We will have one again tomorrow. Please let me know if you need any help. If you are somebody with a personal instrument or other belongings at the school, please come to Bishop Carroll between 10 and 1:30 if you can possibly manage. If not, we'll have to figure something else out. But I hope to see some of you today. Everybody be safe, be healthy. Let me know if you need any help. And I'm looking forward to seeing some of you today. Have a great day, everybody. I'll talk to you tomorrow.